And so, that cold winter evening turned into a story capable of overturning prejudices and opening new horizons. Giovanni, the old gentleman with the humble bearing, continued to wander through the corridors of that hotel that until a short while before had seemed a kingdom of superficiality and contempt. As the shadows of the night lengthened, the warm light of the crystal chandeliers projected iridescent reflections on the walls, as if they wanted to tell forgotten secrets. After that initial meeting, the atmosphere in the hotel began to change. News of Anna's compassionate gesture had spread among the staff, instilling new life into a reality now steeped in cold pragmatism. In the corridors, among elegantly decorated rooms and works of art from bygone eras, there was an air of expectation and hope. Anna, with her sweetness, had not only raised Giovanni's destiny, but had also shaken the very foundations of that golden and merciless microcosm. In the silence of a conference room behind the reception, Lorenzo Conti, the director, sat staring out a window that looked out onto the street lit by flickering street lamps. His thoughts were a whirlwind of regrets and frustrations. That evening, pride and reputation seemed to have taken over, but now, faced with the shocking revelation that Giovanni was actually Matteo Rinaldi, the entire facade of elegance was being called into question. Conti wondered where he had gone wrong, what dark shadow had clouded his and his staff's sense of humanity. Meanwhile, outside the large hall, a group of guests were silently waiting for room service. The elegance of their clothes contrasted with the biting cold of the night created an almost surreal atmosphere, as if reality had stopped for a moment. Among them, a young entrepreneur, with futuristic design glasses, was curiously observing the scene that was unfolding, wondering if, perhaps, generosity could be the key to a radical change in the business world too. The next morning, with the sun timidly peeking out from behind the clouds, the hotel awoke to a buzz. Matteo Rinaldi, now revealed, made his triumphant entrance into the hall. His gaze was intense and determined, and his every step exuded the awareness of someone who has lived 1,000 stories and has learned never to judge too quickly. With a firm and calm voice, he announced to everyone that old prejudice and harshness no longer had a place in that structure. In that moment, the keys hanging on the wall no longer represented just rooms to fill, but the key to a new beginning, where humanity counted more than appearance. In an impromptu meeting with the staff, Rinaldi outlined his vision: to transform the hotel into a place where respect and dignity come first. Elegance, he said, is not just in polished marble or sparkling chandeliers, but above all in the way we treat everyone who knocks on our door, regardless of their past. Those words resonated throughout the room, shaking old certainties like leaves in the wind. Julia, the receptionist, who until then had relied on a cold and detached attitude, found herself faced with the need to rethink her way of working. Sitting in a corner, she silently observed the transformation that was taking place around her, realizing that she too could make a positive contribution. In a moment of sincere reflection, she admitted to herself that life was too short to waste time judging, and that kindness could truly change the world. Meanwhile, Anna and Marco, the couple who had shown that innate generosity, found themselves discussing their new prospects. While the new apartment in the city represented a concrete opportunity to start over, Matteo Rinaldi's gesture went far beyond simple material support. It was an invitation to rethink the values that reign in society, to give space to those who, even if marked by difficulties, possess an inner light capable of illuminating the path of others. As the day went by, word of the transformation spread like an unstoppable wave. The hotel's regulars, who until then had sought refuge only in appearances, began to notice a different atmosphere. There was an air of renewal, of hope that vibrated in every smile exchanged, in every gesture of mutual attention. Even old Mr. Davide, the doorman who had lightly participated in Giovanni's mistreatment, was forced to reflect. With a mixture of fear and desire for redemption, he began to rethink his choices and the possibility of changing course. It was in that climate of transformation that Matteo Rinaldi organized a series of meetings inside the hotel, inviting guests, clients and staff members to share life stories, difficulties and successes. These meetings, in small rooms decorated with works of art that recalled the local colors and traditions, soon became a regular event. Everyone could tell their own experience, and thus a rich and varied human fabric was created, where diversity was considered a precious resource. One of these evenings remained etched in everyone's memory. During a dinner organized in the restaurant hall, lit by flickering candles and accompanied by live music, a former guest had shared his story of rebirth after years of marginalization. His words touched the hearts of many, awakening in them a desire to do better and not to give up in the face of adversity. On that occasion, the table transformed into a symbol of unity, where each dish told a piece of life, and each toast was a hymn to resilience. The outside world began to notice the change, too. News of a hotel that had revolutionized hospitality spread beyond the city limits, attracting the attention of critics and journalists. Stories of ordinary people who had found refuge and support there inspired interviews and articles celebrating the importance of empathy in a world that is often too fast and ruthless. The story of Anna, Marco, and especially Giovanni/Matteo Rinaldi became a symbol of how even a small gesture can spark an internal revolution. Over the next few months, the hotel transformed into a true cultural and social center. In addition to offering hospitality services, a small library and a multi-purpose room were set up where meetings, workshops, and even theatrical performances were held that told the lives and stories of those who had lived them. In every corner, an air of rebirth could be felt. From the corridors, which once echoed with hurried and judgmental footsteps, one could now perceive the delicacy of sincere conversations and shared smiles. Matteo Rinaldi, for his part, did not limit himself to occasional gestures of generosity. His vision became the driving force of a new management philosophy, which aimed to make humanity the central value of every activity. He organized training courses for staff, inviting experts in empathic communication and wellness psychology, so that every member of the team could learn the art of welcoming and listening. The goal was simple, but ambitious, to transform every meeting, even the shortest, into an experience of growth and authentic connection. The transformation had repercussions far beyond the hotel walls. Other entrepreneurs began to take an interest in this new model, trying to apply the same approach in their businesses. The stories of success and change multiplied, and in a short time Matteo Rinaldi's philosophy became a real movement, capable of challenging old paradigms and paving the way for a new era of respect and collaboration. Thus, what had begun as a cold and sad winter night had transformed into a hymn to the possibility of rebirth, demonstrating that, when we value people, even the coldest world can warm up. The lesson was clear: no matter how hard and unfair life may seem, an act of kindness has the power to change the destiny, not only of the one who receives it, but of the one who offers it. And while the hotel, now a symbol of a new way of conceiving hospitality, continued to write its history, every guest who crossed the threshold knew that behind those doors was hidden a precious secret: the awareness that true wealth lies in daily gestures, in shared stories, and in the courage to abandon prejudices to embrace humanity in all its nuances. The journey of Giovanni, Anna, and Marco was just one of the many paths intertwined in that great mosaic of lives that, together, had been able to transform a place of exclusion into a beacon of hope. And so, the lesson made its way into the hearts of anyone who had the courage to look beyond appearances, reminding us all that sometimes, to change the world, a small, sincere smile is enough.